Hey guys, out here without my GoPro. I only have my cell phone, but hopefully I'll be able to prop it up here on this patio job. Got the base all set. We started this last year, and got to get the bedding sand and screed it all out. But I just went and picked up our pavers, panorama, keystone, demi combo, granite color, and I think it was, is that the date? No, it doesn't have a date on it, but I had these set up for pickup last week, but the weather was horrible, so got them this week. Great thing of having a 14,000 GVW trailer. I'm able to get 3 pallets. Each pallet's about 3,000 pounds, about 1.5 tons. I think it's pretty much 3 full pallets. The machine is not supposed to be able to lift this, certainly not operating range where you could lift it up like, full height, but I think I may be able to move these, lifting them up enough to get it off the trailer, bring it down close to the ground and move them. I know I can lift them up and kind of somewhat a little bit shimmy slide, move them, but I'm pretty sure that hopefully this machine is going to have enough power to pick these up. I'm going to give it a shot now. Worst case scenario, I might have to take a layer or two off the top by hand and then, move what's left. There you have it. That's very exciting to know with the amount of paver jobs that I do. This machine is about as capable for lifting as I bought a new 2000, or in 2003 or 4, I bought a 2004 S185, which its lifting capacity or working capacity is 1,850 pounds. 100 pounds more than the S175. That's where it comes up with the number. you know, and then there's a tipping load and all that stuff. But that was rated at 1,850 pounds, where this one I believe is 1,400 pounds. So this would be like an S140. Yeah, 1,400 pounds, or 1,500 with a counterweight option. I've actually, where that one was, I ran out of power on the third pallet to lift up, and the reason why is it's got an extra 150 pounds of polymeric sand on top of it, which I obviously could have taken off, but I kind of wanted to see what the limits were. And literally the limit is a full pallet with nothing on it of pavers. Wall blocks I think are a little heavier, so I might not be able to do that. I'd have to pull a layer off of wall block. But like I said, knowing that a full pallet of pavers can be lifted and moved around with this machine, that is the most that I'm ever going to ask from a machine for the things that I do. So this thing just won a lot of brownie points with me. And another thing you can do is I've seen people get like even a little bit lighter weight of a fork setup, you know, that might not have this back. It would just be the lower part that the forks are on. If you can save 100 pounds, 200 pounds there, that's that much more that you're able to lift. But super excited. I'm really happy that I'm able to move these. I really didn't think I was going to. I thought I'd have to remove at least one layer. But, you know, again, you wouldn't want to lift it up and do anything fancy and, you know, lift it up 6-8 feet in the high in the you know, up into a hole, going up some crazy hill or anything like that. But just unloading off of a trailer and carefully moving into place to go ahead and lay them like that is awesome. So definitely a big labor savings. I'm actually going to load the machine back up. I'm done with the machine here. Next step, like I said, I just got to pick up some sand with my dump trailer. I'm going to drop a yard of sand for the screeding and bedding, and then screed out all the sand, and then I'll start laying pavers. This is going to be a quick, easy one. The only thing that's going to take any time is the cutting around the fire pit. What I usually do is I'll measure the actual circle, you know, what size that circle is, and I'll lay out a square big enough to cover that circle of the pavers, all nice and tight together, like as if they were in place. And then I'll scribe a circle, and then I individually take each of the blocks out and cut them, you know, at each of the angles, rather than trying to curve, because that's going to be too sharp of an angle to try to cut with a flat blade. So I chop, you know, little angles all the way around, and the end result is you get a pretty good circle. And then the little bit of inconsistencies that are left up against the fire pit, you just put the polymeric sand, which is a gray, you know, just to cover in that little bit. This is probably a 3-hour start to finish paver lay. Certainly one day with cutting and everything, I can bang this out, screeding the sand and everything. So once you get moving, it goes pretty quick. So, but all right, enough of the rambling. We'll have a follow-up video with this patio. Probably do a time lapse laying it all out, and have a nice finished video. This is the first install job of 2021. Hey guys, just dropped that 3 pallets of pavers off. Headed back to my house with the Bobcat. As you can see, I have a delivery coming tomorrow, a freight truck for a Bobcat brush mower attachment that I ordered a couple weeks back. It's finally here, so I'm excited. I need to bring the machine back to my house to be able to unload it, much like the grapple, the stump grapple bucket that you saw on the channel if you're watching my videos at all. So probably have a video on that tomorrow as well. I don't think I'm doing the actual brush mowing job that I have lined up for that tomorrow. So it might just be a video of me taking delivery, and then I'll put up another video of it in action after. But who knows, subject to change. I might actually take delivery of it and bring it right over to the job. It's probably under 2 hours worth of a job. It's just probably 100 by 100 square area that gets brush mowed every year, and that's my first job with it. So we'll see how it goes. my machine is not a high flow. It's not a high flow skid steer. So this is supposed to run between 15 to 22, I think it said, gallons per minute, which is considered a standard flow machine. My machine claims to put out 16.9, which is basically 17 gallons per minute. And it's a low hour machine, fairly low, 1,400 hours, and I don't think it's ran too many implements, so I'm thinking that the pump and the flow is probably definitely sufficient of what it's supposed to be, up to spec. So we'll see how that works out. I'm hoping that it's still a pretty effective machine, even though it's not hooking up to a high flow. Again, it said it's supposed to be able to run on 15 gallons per minute. I have 17, so I am on the lower end of what it claims. Worst case scenario, it doesn't run well or isn't really worth it. I'll end up just having to sell it. I did buy it fairly good price. They had like a winter promotion that they still honored, even though I'm getting it now in the spring. It's the same company, Skid Pro, that I purchased that stump bucket with the grapple on it. My forks and my new bucket that I have for it, I got those from Bobcat, the dealer that I bought the machine from used. Again, they ended up throwing in after the fact. I did some complaining about some issues with the machine that were not disclosed at the time of sale, and they were very understanding and offered me a new bucket, because the bucket that it came with, I picked up, it was kind of like full of dirt and it was frozen. It wasn't full of dirt, but in the corners it had dirt, and it ended up being like a 6-inch hole under the dirt that the salesman or myself didn't realize. I did buy the machine as is. They just, I guess, brought it through the shop and did a general overhaul, but they didn't do any cleaning or maintenance or anything like that. I went and did all that myself to save some money. So I got the machine a couple $1,000s less than I would have if I waited for them to put it through the shop. But neither one of us knew that the bucket had a hole in it, and the bottom of the machine, the track assembly and the lower, the gray area, the chassis on the machine were quite rusty, very flaky, chunks coming off of rust. And when I picked the machine up again, it was really dirty and it was cold, and it just had frozen mud stuck to it, so we couldn't really tell what condition it was. So the salesman was cool about it and understanding, like I said, and he offered to, he asked what I would want, and I said, how about either a new bucket to replace the broken one, or I'll just keep that and repair that bucket and maybe just get me a set of forks. And he offered both, so he got me a new bucket and a new set of forks. So I went right down, picked up the new bucket, and I've been using that, and I sold the old bucket. I think I got $350 or something for it, which was nice. Helps with the first payment on the machine, or helped. I've now made, I think, 4 or 5 payments now. And he had to order the forks in because he didn't have them. And after about a month and a half, or maybe even 2 months of not getting them, I guess he was waiting for the actual upright, the part that connects to the Bobcat, not the forks themselves, the forks that slide back and forth. So we ended up going with this aftermarket company, Black Diamond or Blue Diamond, I can't remember. I think it's Blue Diamond. You can see maybe in the front of the forks there it says BD. That's the company that makes them. So what they ended up doing is just ordering a that back panel from that company without the forks, and then they put their own genuine Bobcat forks. Apparently they're universal or the same layout, so they were able to put those on it. So I end up with a brand new set of forks that are Bobcat forks with the body of this Blue Diamond or Black Diamond or whatever the company is, that seems to be good quality. So with all of my implements, I have Bobcat, Blue Diamond, and Skid Pro. I have 4 different attachments so far, and I am considering I do want to get a Harley rake type of setup for finish raking loam, so I'm able to machine grade yards when I'm putting lawns in, and then go over it with the machine that breaks up and kind of like finish rakes the, you know, the first inch or so that gets compacted when you drive over it, and gets it prepped for seed, which is really nice. It eliminates most of your hand raking, which is the worst part of doing lawns. So they are quite pricey, but that's definitely my next thing. The whole idea, like I said, is to use this machine for as much as I can as a big labor savings, because it is hard to find good help nowadays, and where I'm working mostly by myself, trying to have the proper machines in place to make my job easier. So I may consider a chipper bucket or attachment as well. We'll see how this small one that I just uploaded on the channel works out. If I end up doing a lot more brush than I realized, that machine is too small for that, so I might end up with a chipper bucket that, you know, could handle maybe up to 4 or 6 inches or whatever. I don't know what the next step up is, but probably not, but that's a possibility as well. So if any of you guys have one of those buckets and have any experience, I'd love to hear from you, or recommend any of the rakes. They have the, you know, the power rakes. It's like a metal drum that spins around and kind of like power rakes the loam. Then they have like rock hounds and stuff too that do that as well, and they separate some of the stones and sticks out of the ground, which is really nice too. And I think that's about it, like I said, for attachment wise for now, and we'll see how it goes in the future. But loving the machine so far. Use it for many things. I've already used it for half a dozen jobs. It is a machine that I plan to keep for a good long time. It's got low hours. I'll keep up on it, and honestly, even after like 4 or 5 years of using it, as long as I keep it up, I'll get my money back. It won't really lose its value. I already got it past all the depreciation, and because it was a fairly low hour for its age, it will maintain its value. So, all right, almost back to the house now, and gonna pack up for the day. It's almost 5 o'clock. Loving this new time schedule where it doesn't get dark till like 6:30. That whole 4:30 getting dark over the winter is a killer. I can't stand that. So, be able to get some work done. Get back out there and shed a few pounds. All right, guys, have a good one.